Good morning. My name is Anton Abud, your instructor. I wanted to introduce myself and also to take a few minutes first to tell you how pleased I am with the amount of engagement each of you has been able to maintain in this class. It's very important, it moves very quickly, and it's not going to get any better. You will have a week at some point where you'll be able to take a breather, but even then it's still going to end as a class within 9 weeks of its starting date. The real reward, of course, is that you will finish this semester, in this class at least, a little earlier than you otherwise would. I also wanted to talk a bit about this last assignment, the written assignment, concerning Joe. Keep in mind, I didn't make this case up. It's a case I was involved with, or at least I evaluated 30 years ago. I've never forgotten. I've used it in a lot of classes in different settings, talking either about ethics or other issues related to employee performance. But the reality here is that this is a tough situation. I would tell you that Joe, as a person, existed. He was fired for what he did. Eventually, an arbitrator reviewed the case and put him back to work. And why did the arbitrator put Joe back to work? Well, the arbitrator basically went through a lot of the issues that you guys talked about in your paper. What were his options? But what the arbitrator finally said was, look, you know what? None of these were great options. He had a split second to make a decision. And you know, he made the best decision he could. Obviously, he never intended to harm the individual in the tub. He made a choice, figuring that he had a few seconds to go out and provide aid. And you know what? He didn't figure that the person in the tub would so easily drown. The person did drown. He was put back to work by the arbitrator. This case was shown to about 24 arbitrators at a conference one day. And each person was asked, how would you have handled it? Not a single person would have fired Joe. Again, very often pointing out that, you know what, but for the grace of God, go I. If I had been Joe, I don't know that I could have done any better. This doesn't necessarily make up for the fact that the person drowned, but it does take into account how difficult some of these moral dilemmas can be. Interestingly, when we apply the 5-step process, in a sense, we're being a bit superficial. Joe didn't have time to apply that process. Joe had a split second. He couldn't say, okay, what are the 5 steps I have to go through here to make the right decision? On the other hand, as HR professionals, we're often put in a situation where we have to evaluate how somebody behaved in a circumstance. We do have the luxury of sitting back and asking ourselves these questions. And I might add, even if Joe made what we think is the wrong answer in the end, it may also be from a performance standpoint. He couldn't have been expected to necessarily make the very best answer that we might determine after some great amount of thought. You all put a lot of thought into your papers. I appreciate it. The feedback I gave, I think, was an attempt to help you understand how you can use the process more effectively. If you have questions, of course, just get back in touch. In any case, I'm looking forward to this next week's assignment having to do with performance issues at work. Should be interesting. You guys have a great weekend. Be good.